Greetings, welcome to Shadowstar, and this Star Trek Online Starship Stats review video. Oh boy, is this going to be a ship to talk about? So, we are talking here today, and may I introduce you to the Horatio class, the legendary ambassador Intel support cruiser. See, when I did the intelligence review of this ship, it was still a temple ship. When I did the intelligence review of this ship, and disclaimer on this point, if you were getting the bundle that this ship comes in for this ship alone, I would have asked you what was you thinking. And it takes a lot to change my opinion. Once my opinion is set, it's very difficult to get this to change, hence the disclaimer I'm trying to give here. This ship was introduced as a temple, and it was basically the fleet variant of the fleet variant of the Ambassador, and that really disappointed me with STO. Then again, when the bundle was first announced, I was against it. To me, there was no value in getting it because there's just not enough there. Now, I will tell you there's value in it. You know, I will not tell you that it's worth getting when it's at full price. Hell, if you're buying a bundle, you want it to be a decent deal. So, full price, which is basically the same as all the stuff you get in the bundle, that's not a deal. So, as a result, no, not full price. When it's on sale, and so long as you definitely want two of the ships, at least two of the ships, then yeah, I consider the bundle worth it, in my personal opinion, now. But that took a lot of change. That actually took the lobby. If the lobby didn't come in there, I'd never have said it. With this being said then, let's get on to reviewing the legendary Ambassador Intelligence Support Cruiser. Which will be done in a few stages. First of all, we'll take a quick breakdown of its visuals, which I actually really like. That's the only thing I originally liked about the ship, and it's gotten better. Then we'll take a look at her stats, consoles, and traits. And once we've gone through all that, we'll take her into action. So, without further ado, shall we begin? Okay, so I struggle to be quick for this part, so let's get on to it. First of all, the Horatio is her main look, and originally I thought she had quite a tall neck, which made me dislike her. But you know what? Her neck isn't that tall. And I actually really do like the aesthetic look of Horatio. That's like I've said, the one thing I did like about this ship originally in the Intel review is I thought the Horatio looks great. We also get the Ambassador, the ship that literally defined it and made it legendary. The Yamaguchi, which appears to be the Ambassador moving in a refit style towards the galaxy. Neandra and Neandra Beta, which are essentially the concepts that actually led to the Enterprise C. And to be honest, I would have preferred to see this on the screen over what we got. No insult to who came up with the Ambassador, but this just feels like a more accurate step between the Enterprise B and the Enterprise D. If you take the way every shape was adjusting, the whole way the hull was looking, the way the saucer was looking, the necks, the pylons, the nacelles, this is just a more accurate step between the two. Unlike the Ambassador, it looks like the Galaxy. You can customize on this ship the Ambassador hull. Whoop! Oh, hang on, let me go back to Horatio. Customize on this ship to have the Ambassador hull, which is pretty nice. Defiant. I'm trying to think of a way I could show most of the paneling in a good light. Damn. Not an easy ship to show off here, is it? The Fleet Hull Aesthetics 1 and 2. Galaxy, which looks very nice for this ship. Intrepid. Neandra suits it as well. NX refit. Sovereign. Did I show Intrepid? I hope I showed Intrepid. Sovereign as well there. Sovereign refit, which suits her really well. Then you have the TOS feel, should you wish for it. Type 8B and Type 8 for motion picture feeling. Upgrade and Veteran, should you have access to them. Quite nice looks, eh? You can modify the hull, the saucer, the neck, the pylons, and the nacelles. There's no custom bridge, but hey, completely vast options of bridges to have for the ship. And you have Type 1 to Type 5 windows, along with Type Galaxy, which I do quite like on the ship, if I'm honest. And the Fleet variant. Now, to the stats. Okay, so back to saying a disclaimer before I go into the stats. And the underside of this ship really is its best view. So, before it used to be a temple ship, and if you do want the temple promise, such as the great DPS damage that you can do from its ability, or healing if you're a tank, or the disable if you're a control boat, which is why a temple is such a versatile thing. Now we have the intel, and the intel is more control or DPS oriented in my personal opinion, but that means it's only really affected tankiness. However, this ship is so good, that's not actually going to be considered, in my part, a problem. So, let's actually get into this, see what it goes. First of all, it's a tier 6 cruiser type vessel with a new base hull of 66,825 at level 65. This has been improved. Thanks to enough noise from the player base, the hull modifier has been increased and improved to 1.485, with the shield modifier being its impressive 1.2. Now I say impressive because as a cruiser that is still a decent shield modifier, and screams now that this ship will very, very easily tank. Hull, extremely well. Shield, great. And as we go on, you're going to find out that she's a regenerative ship with incredible regenerative abilities, making her a deadly regen tank. Much better than the Excelsior as well. Her base turn rate is 7.5, which isn't bad. That is an improvement over the fleet at least. Impulse modifier is 0.15 and the inertia is 40. Her bonus power settings are now +5 to weapons, +5 to shields, and instead of the original, it is now +10 to auxiliary. Sure, she doesn't have the +5 to engines that her fleet counterpart has, but at least they put that +5 into auxiliary and given her more support and more tanking potential. Actually, they've even given her more DPS potential here, if you know what you're doing. I do like Ox abilities. She has 4 forward and 4 aft weapons, making her an excellent broadside build, of course. With her turn rate, this complements quite well. 4 device slots, and matching the counterpart, of course, she has 3 tactical, 4 engineering, and 4 science. With this all being said here, and on the basis of what we've got so far, you can see why I'm saying she has regenerative ability. Her engineering and her science side is extremely high. In fact, she is probably the superior for that in this bundle. And I appreciate the fact that she's different in that category. Even if it makes her practically the same as her counterpart for certain elements there, I do appreciate the fact that she's at least different from the other 3, because they are all a little similar. And that's the problem for the bundle, is their improvement, most of them were improvements on their counterparts, but the bundle gives you relatively similar ships in it. Now, keeping on, she has the ability to cloak, as she is an intelligence vessel, this giving her some incredible potential thanks to that. Of course, apparently she has borrowed time, but that comes down to a console. She has the active sensor array, which is a nice intelligence ability, allowing you to affect certain procs. I will show you that shortly. Probably should have been showing you that this whole time. And her bridge officer stations really bring her together, as she has a Lieutenant Tactical, a Commander Engineering Intelligence, Lieutenant Commander Science, a Lieutenant Commander Universal Temporal Operative Specialization, and the final Ensign Universal. This means she has still got DPS potential, even if somewhat enamored tactically. She does have tactical DPS potential there, but she's definitely a great side DPS ship, and she has extremely good support potential. Really bringing her together here, aren't we? Then again, as a support ship, you'd have hoped for that. Okay, so what does this breakdown mean? Like I said, she's excellent all-round tank, great Psi and engineering support, and great Psi DPS. Her weak spot, tactical DPS. On to her, well, other abilities. Let's talk about the intel first of all. Now, the active sensor array, which gives you gather intel, once activated, will apply a stack of penetrating scan on target every second. Once target is vulnerable after 15 stacks, so after 15 seconds, it's a little bit long, I will say. The target becomes vulnerable to the secondary abilities. However, you can't cloak while you're using this. There's the heads up. So the secondary abilities, you can expose vulnerability in defense, which will remove all engineering bridge officer buffs from the enemy. Minus 33 all damage resistance from the enemy. And decrease shield resistance by 20%, all for 10 seconds. This is my preferential one to use when fighting stronger flagship targets and the DPSs are trying to bring this target down. Like I said though, I'm a support player. This is why I'm going to try and help them do more damage. You can though do expose vulnerability in weapon systems, which will to the targets remove all tactical buffs, reduce damage by 33% for 10 seconds, and reduce accuracy by 33 for 10 seconds. Now, this is quite good for tanks to use, because that just means the enemy can't deal as much damage to yourself or your allies. And then finally, expose vulnerability critical systems. Remove all science ability buffs. Holds the target for 5 seconds. Excelente. And again, this is about the same as what you'd get. Well, it's not actually as powerful as the temporal ability, but it's at least decently the same. However, beyond the hold, you also have a control amplifier. To target hit, you now deal extra exotic damage resistance. They have an exotic damage resistance minus by 25 for 10 seconds, and a control resistance minus by 25 for 10 seconds. This is actually really effective, and if you're running with EPG builds, that's just going to be no end of help to your allies. I know a lot of people aren't in it to make the allies deal the more damage, but that's my style. I like helping my allies do more damage rather than myself. So, I'm quite happy with that. Here we go. The actual King Kong areas. Hey, what have you done? Alright, you need to come back here, please. Whoop! Temporal Trajectory Shifter, the console, which for some reason was unequipped. I'm not entirely sure why. Plus 10 to defense rating and plus 50 to Starship Science Readiness. This is sounding like a support trait. However, when activating Borrow Time, which is the big point here, to your foe for 15 seconds max, 480.2 physical damage ignoring shields per second. Your weapon firing speed, or their weapon firing speed, sorry, is slowed by 33%. Their ability cooldown is slowed by 1% per second. Ooh. Minus 50 to the defense ratings, and to yourselves, oh, hell's bell. Your firing cycle hasted is by 50%. Your ability cooldown is hastened by 20%, and your defense rating is boosted by plus 50. I'm sorry, but that is a DPS console ability right there. It's not quite on par with some of the better weapons hastes and ability cooldowns, but the fact that this console will do both, and it essentially also weakens your foe at the same time, this to me is just a prime console for a lot of DPS builds, especially the Psy DPS builds. Now then, traits. So my pet peeve here is the fact that this is the same trait as the Vulture, but history will remember. Okay. Plus damage, plus max HP, plus regen. Clearly, this is a tanking-like trait, right? But it helps DPSs as well. For each foe that you damage, gain 1 stack of history. Remember, max up to 30. Once you've achieved this, plus 1% all damage, plus 1% hull regen, and increases maximum hull by 1%. Also, plus 10% threat generation, but only while in threatening stance. Hence, this is a tanking trait, but it is also DPS. And you know what is really dangerous about this trait? The one thing I didn't say? These stacks will be granted and will not dissipate until you leave the map. Meaning, this is one of those traits which really has long-standing, powerful effect. Because once you've achieved that 30, you will be seeing a huge increase to your damage and your regeneration. Plus your own endurance. It's just a good trait. I'm disappointed it's on 2 ships, but I really do like this trait. And I don't think I said that enough in the Vulture review. So, Lost in Time. Now this trait is another one of those ones which is DPS and tank. But I'm starting to see areas where it could also be useful for support. So, when your hull is reduced by 25%, I estimated 50, 25, that's fair. Hull heals for 43,018.4 over 3 seconds. Decent. Obviously that adjusted based on your hull. Your shield heals for 3,285 over 3 seconds. Okay. So it's giving you enough time, it's giving you time to come back into the fight, really. It gives you a 50% reduction in bridge officer time. And your abilities over 3 seconds. Sorry, gives you a 50% recharge in bridge officer and captain abilities over 3 seconds. English me. And you are unkillable for 3 seconds. Now this is useful because that's similar to the invincibility trait, only this one is actually giving you more healing. This can activate maximum once per 180 seconds. Now since this is so similar to the invincibility trait. Let's take a look at the invincibility trait. Please don't mind the build. I will be adjusting it when I use this ship. This is a random test build. Right, I'm not even using the invincibility trait at the moment. That's a change. Doink. So in the invincibility trait's case, you're unkillable for 8 seconds, but you have to rely on incoming whole healing and shield healing in order to recover for the 8 seconds, and it lasts for 120. So, yes, invincible is stronger in an essence, but it isn't going to actually save you. If there's nothing to heal you while invincible is active, you still, after the 8 seconds, are likely going to find yourself crushed and down and out. A little bit of a problem for invincible, and is where, although it doesn't last as long, it is where Lost in Time actually does a little bit more for you. Also, it doesn't rely on you dying first, which is something I have to appreciate. Now then, enough said. Shall we take her into action? So we're going to take her into action. Now, I did a quick ship testing. Yeah, she got damaged in that ship testing. Let's quickly repair that. Thank you. We don't want that on her right now. Yeah, she did better than I was expecting. She's totally better than I expected. That's my favourite part. Now then. Oh, lock down, lock you low. Let's show what you can do. You goddamn crazed ship. Oh, this feels good. This ship feels good, and that is funny to say. Also, do you like the fact I customized her a little bit? Just gave her a slightly better secondary hull, in my opinion. Everything else I love about her look. Just... secondary hull is my gripe. This is almost too easy. It's like she's not even struggling. I'm going to have to do another run with her just to see how she does DPS-wise. If that does well, I will plausibly add that on to the video. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Talking about my DPS levels is nigh on pointless when I am nowhere near a decent DPS build. And I think people forget that. I'm a support player! She's killing this right now, isn't she? Holy moly. Look at the damage of shockwaves. You're all out of the picture. It's just not worth it. I mean, what was that? I turned quick enough to keep up with you. What the hell? You were escorts. When you got tight on me, you should not have been staying with me. That should have been you overtaking me at that point. Damn it. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I had to step away. I took time. I went and did my streaming. I've had to come back after streaming. This is my conclusions on this ship. Not easy. So, fundamentally speaking, if the only ship in the legendary bundle you want is this one, well, I wouldn't recommend getting on the base of the bundle anyway. But considering the fleet variant that is already out is so similar, just Temple, and I think Temple is a little bit better possibly, you're going to be wanting this ship on the basis of the fact that it is in the bundle, it is the superior sight and engineering one versus the actual overall DPS potential. Yes, this ship has decent DPS potential, and I will categorically rate it quite high on that potential, but at the same time, I can't go that high. I can't really say, yes, this ship can DPS with the best of them, because, sure, it can broadside pretty well, and it has potential for forward arcing, but It's just lacking something, and I don't like it. Now, as for the support side of things, that's absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. And tanking, the Excelsior tanks better. I've got to acknowledge that. The Excelsior is the better tank. Obviously, the Excelsior is a better tank and DPS, so... yeah, that's this ship's problem, is there's another ship in this bundle that is technically better than it, because the Excelsior can also relatively do support well, but at least this ship is a better support than the Excelsior. So, when it comes down to from that is the intelligence. Does the intelligence side of things really wing this over for you as another alternative ship? I'm going to be nice and say that thanks to its cloaking device and what intelligence can achieve, then yes, this ship can win itself over, and it does pretty well. Honestly, I do like the ship, and I will take a choice and be willing to fly it. It's going to be a ship I'm going to enjoy. I never used to like flying the Ambassador, but I think this one I might actually be okay with. And that says something. If I never used to like flying a ship, and this one I feel a bit more comfortable flying... yes, the Ambassador was always quite a good ship. This one has something a little extra that I can't quite put my hand on for what that is. So credit to STO, they've achieved something here, I'm just not sure what they've achieved. What do I mean by this? Okay, so my overall score for this ship is simple. If you're talking DPS, I'm going to be a little bit harsh, and I'm going to say 6. It is there, thanks to science DPS, it's there, but I'm not going to be generous on it. If we're talking tank, I'm going to say 8. Because he can hold tank excessively well. He can shield tank really well. But it's just missing that one natural stat that will hit Bill over the edge there and make it an absolutely stunner of a tank. As for support though, support, now that one I'm a bit more gracing with. Support, I will give it 9 out of 10. So my overall score for this ship is 8 out of 10. She's a good ship, she does deserve a bit of praise. Her design is brilliant. It's just a shame they didn't do something a little extra with her. Something to really make her stand out. I don't know, give her a secondary deflector. That would have been a standout. A support cruiser with a secondary deflector, but all the same stats other than that. That would have been a big standout. That would have been a big game changer for her. Really knock her over the edge. Or, I don't know, give her a hanger. Something. Just that, something extra. One little thing extra to really game change her. And that would have made her so much more inviting, in my opinion. But now, I have to ask you guys, what do you think? What's your thoughts on this ship? Am I being a little bit harsh on the ship, or am I not being harsh enough? Let me know in the comments section what you think of her, what you personally would have liked to have seen with her. And can I just say thank you to all of you for watching to the very end of this video. I really do appreciate the support you've shown, and if this video has been helpful to you in any manner, has actually given you a bit of information, then I hope you'll consider hitting the like button and help it out in the YouTube algorithm. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Sorry, don't forget to subscribe, ring that notification bell, and basically make sure you don't miss out on anything I'm working on, because I do loads of stuff like this all the time. I focus on STO, I do have some other things I work on as well. I'm here to entertain. That's supposed to be my job. If I've done this in any manner, I'm happy. If I've ruined your day, I'm sorry. But to my patrons, my donors, my Twitch subscribers currently credited on screen, to you guys, a huge thank you, as I would not be able to do anything I'm doing right now without your generous support. You really have made a massive difference. Guys, thank you so much. And hopefully, I'll see you all either on Twitch, on Twitter, on our Discord, or here on Shadowstar. Till next time, ciao for now. Remember, Live long and prosper, my friends.